like before, I started talking to you like not too long ago, like it was only like 2 years, like in this like weird place. I'm like, God, it feels so good now. Like so good to be back. But it's like if I had gone through, just kind of keep on pushing through, just kind of like living life, just, just trying to make it in the state that I was in, I think I would definitely not be here, mentally or anything, like a lot of people, I think they don't know if I'm alive or not. Like some friends, there are literally people that like, I didn't talk to anybody for like the longest time. Some of my family was like, hello, what's going on? I had to go.
Hello and welcome to the Wellness Trinity podcast, where we interview top holistic experts and bring you natural solutions for modern day wellness. Let's get started with your host, Dr. Jacqueline.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining the Wellness Trinity podcast. I'm Dr. Jacqueline from thewellnesstrinity.com, where we provide natural solutions for modern day wellness. Today, we're going to discuss on our Women's Health series, Defining Beauty with Miss United States and Fitness Universe Sports Model Champion, Brittany Williams, who you can find on Instagram at b.fabulous. And that's where you can find her. Just a little disclaimer. Before we get started, what we discuss in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. What you do with the information is to be used at your discretion, as the recommendations are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. This episode was brought to you by CellCore Biosciences. Creating solutions that work is what they do, and restoring hope and health is who they are. Are you having a hard time conceiving? Are you concerned about raising healthy children? Would you like to age gracefully? These are all concerns that many women have. And in order to have healthy pregnancies and children and age gracefully with youthful skin, vibrant wellness, and incredible joints, we need to thoroughly cleanse the body in this day and age, because there are more than 85,000 chemicals that are just plaguing the earth. And these chemicals cause a whole slew of problems. And a lot of it is related to the backup in the liver that causes diminished hormone production. CellCore Biosciences protocol systematically removes layers of infections and toxins, thus fully cleansing the body. It gets you back to homeostasis, where your body is happiest and healthiest when done correctly. I am happy to be on this protocol, and I'm actually waiting to get pregnant because I want myself and my husband to be thoroughly cleansed before I even think of having a baby. And I don't fear growing old and falling apart, because I know that if my body is at homeostasis, it's going to be just fine. I was told I look 10 years younger in my new headshot, so this stuff works. To learn more about the CellCore protocol, go to thewellnesstrinity.com/CellCore Detox. So I met Brittany a few years ago through a mutual friend, and she became a client, and now we work together with CellCore. So she's taken the products herself for her fitness competitions, and she's seeing incredible results. And now she's coaching people herself with the products and in her Be Fabulous program. So just a little bit about her before we get started. She is a tomboy turned beauty queen and is the reigning Fitness America and Fitness Universe Sports Model Champion and former Miss United States. A hotel management degree from James Madison University brought her to the bright lights of Las Vegas, but she soon found that she was destined for other things. Brittany is currently a fitness commercial model, spokeswoman, and holistic wellness coach. With personal experiences of overcoming a negative self-image as a young woman, as a speaker, coach, and athlete, Brittany combines her alter ego for a holistic approach to helping young women navigate through a superficial world in her Be.Fabulous workshop series. The Killer Bee is the rough, tough, competitive, and sporty side. When it's time for the glitz and glamour of modeling and pageant worlds, you can just call her Queen Bee. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Finally, right?
I know we were supposed to do this months ago, but COVID schmovid.
Timing. It wasn't meant to be then. It was meant to be now.
Yeah, I mean, you've been on quite the journey, it seems like, in the last few years. Do you want to start with that? Are you
Oh,
ready?
yeah. Where should we
Are you
start?
ready to come out of your box, Brittany?
I guess I am now. I have to, right? Thanks
You signed up for this.
for pulling me for the longest time. But we're here. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Where shall we begin? Because this can be another one of those long conversations that we have. So,
Well, first of all, okay, you were in the limelight. I mean, we talked, I mean, I had to narrow your bio down. So even with narrowing it down, you still have quite an extensive bio. I mean, former Miss United States, and you've won several fitness and bodybuilding championships, and I mean, you still are holding some of these titles. So, why did you kind of go in your hiding place for a few years and get away from all
well, I'll go to when we met. I think that's a good place. So that was what, two years ago, maybe. That was after my first Fitness Universe title, I believe. And that was right after my dad passed away. So, there was highs and lows in life. I'd won Universe in June. He passed in December. And yeah, life was not great after that, obviously. So, I mean, I just really got very depressed after that, of course. It was kind of sudden, so was not really prepared for it. And I just knew that I needed to do something different. And a mutual friend said, "Hey, I know this awesome lady that you probably will have a lot in common with, somebody good to talk to." So we met, what was that? Beginning of 2018, I guess it was,
that? I
just
think
trying to
so.
get out of like that place that I was,
Mhm.
and yeah, we did that, and it helps. And then, the depression came back. After that, it was just like highs and lows, ups and downs, of course, with life. And then I decided that I needed to compete again, just to kind of give myself that focus again. I was just drinking a lot. I wasn't dealing with what needed to be dealt with. And I was like, obviously, I know I'm Miss Fitness Universe. I can't do that. That's not very fitnessy of me. So it was just kind of pushed me to get back into the swing of things and back to just a healthy lifestyle, way of life. And then you really helped me figure out, you have to work out and everything like that, but there's so much more going on that I really didn't think about. There's that emotional stuff, there's parasites, and there's all this other, stuff that you don't really necessarily consider when you're just like, okay, let's go work out, because obviously that's a great thing to do. But maybe go a little bit deeper into life and to where I was at and how can I get out of this place. And yeah, so we worked together for a bit, got back on things, competed again, and that was a couple years ago. And then here we are. Another up and down and up and down, but you got to do that,
Yeah.
right? Like, just have to go through things to get you to the place. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of those things that we experienced, and just learn lessons from, and just kind of
Mhm.
move on, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so much to be said and all that. And I'll just say this first. I remember when our friend Lance referred you to me, and you walked in my office, and I'm like, who is this? Like, you had these beautiful shiny shoes, and you were just like this model that just walked into my office. I had no idea former Miss USA was walking into my office. Lance just decided to, throw you to me and not tell me all this cool stuff that you're up to. And so he thought it was a joke. So anyways, one of the things I love about you is that you're not just about, beauty and being fit. Like, you're so much deeper than that. And I mean, that's my kind of girl. I mean, I love the fact that you take care of yourself, and you're well put together on the outside, but on the inside, I mean, you've gone through so much to come to a point where it's not just about, you know, having a beautiful face and having abs, right? There's so much more to it. How did you get to that place? I mean, I know that there's more even before the story of your dad's death. Like, how did you even get into the pageants to begin with?
You know, to be honest, like you said, I was a tomboy, so I was always into sports. You know, I have a brother, lots of male cousins, so I was just one of the dudes, you know, growing up. But that whole pageant thing kind of was intriguing because it was so different, but I never thought like I would ever be able to do it, right? So, I did one in like high school, just like as a joke or something. Like it wasn't anything serious. It was kind of fun, but it was just like I was clearly out of place. But you know, whatever. Then in college, it was my senior year. I decided that I'm gonna just do this. Like I'm about to graduate from college. Like you know, let's do something different, step outside of the comfort zone. And I decided to do Miss Virginia USA. And you know, just jump in there and just, you know, do something just totally different. Not a clue, not one clue what I was doing. You know, I ran track in college, so I did not know how to walk in heels. I, you know, had track spikes and tennis shoes, so that was a whole process in itself. But yeah, I wanted to just try it in college, and it didn't work out so well for me then. Not at all. I did not do so well, and I'm competitive, of course. So I did not like that. I didn't do. That was a problem. But the interesting thing about that was kind of sad because I got into a depression at that point too. I think it just made me realize like, you know, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't, you know, I was told at that time too, I'm more muscular than most of the girls. Like in one of the, he was a part of the pageant. I forget what he did, but he basically told me, he's like, you're probably not going to do well. You're not going to really make it in this because you need to lose some muscle. Dude, I run track. Like I'm a college athlete. It's probably not going to happen. So but it kind of got to me after that was over with, and I kind of went through a little bit of a depression at that point too. And I went through this whole, I feel like I'm always depressed about something, but I went through this whole thing, and then I realized that, you know what, I want to do this. I want to try this again, but I need to have a different mindset going into it. You know, I wanted to win the pageant, not for the crown. Like the crown wasn't gonna make me. I was gonna make who I needed to be, and I was gonna get the crown because of that, not the other way around. So when I went into that first time, it was like, oh, this magical crown is gonna make me turn into this glamorous, beautiful woman that everyone's gonna like want to be around. And I think the fact that that was my mindset going into it is part of the reason that it didn't work out. And then a couple years later, that's when the whole Miss United States thing came around. I just had this totally different attitude. I'm like, you know, whatever. Like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to try it. And that's the attitude that actually got me a crown. It was kind of cool. But I do remember that one of the nights, we talked about this earlier or the other day, one of those nights I was like laying in my bed in college after the pageant, like super depressed, like I said, and this thing came to me out of nowhere. It was weird. It was just this weird feeling. I'm just like laying here, and all of a sudden in my mind it says, define beauty for yourself. It's like I heard this voice, and I'm like, what's here?
Where did this come from?
It was like such a weird thing. So I just like got up. I'm like, maybe should I write this down? So I roll over. I'm like, define beauty for yourself. Oh gosh, now I forgot. Like I spit it out to you the other day. Define beauty for yourself. Don't live up to anyone else's standards but your own. Confidence is beautiful, powerful, and truly exudes from within. There's a line in there missing. See, I should have written it down like you said.
I thought the other day that you wrote it down, that you were reading something, and I'm like, okay, can you read that to me? And then you're like, no, it's here.
I know. And now it's
I
like,
got you on the spot and you're like, no, I forgot it.
like, oh my gosh, you jinxed me.
Okay, let's try it again. I'm going to try to take notes while you say it. Defining. So your definition of beauty.
Well, you know, I guess my definition is whatever you want it to be. Define it for yourself. Don't live up to anyone else's standards but your own. Embrace all of God's gifts, no matter, that's the part I left out, no matter if it's a little bit more or a little bit less than the next woman. Confidence is powerful, beautiful, and truly exudes from within. So basically, beauty is just, it's you. They say it's in the eye of the beholder. It really is. The world tells you it's not, but it is. Like, you just decide that this is what I think is beautiful, and you own it, then that's really what, that's beautiful.
That's powerful. Okay, can we try to say that revelation that you got again?
That revelation. Define beauty for yourself. Don't live up to anyone else's standards but your own. Embrace all of God's gifts, no matter if it's a little bit more or a little bit less than the next woman. Confidence is beautiful, powerful, and truly exudes from within. So that came after me being on this stage with the pageant girls and feeling like I was not worthy. So that was my like little gift, I think, from above. That
Big G?
The big G, yeah.
That's what my husband calls him. He's like, what did the big G tell you?
Yep, that was it. I'm like, what is happening? Okay. And I knew though at that time, I'm like, I'm going to write this down because I think this is going to come in handy at some point. Right now, I'm not feeling it, but all right, like, let's go with it. And that's kind of been the thing that I've rolled on since then. And I won't tell you how long ago that was because I feel like I'm getting really old, but that was my senior year of college. That was 15 years ago. Something like
You're
that.
telling us how old you are pretty much now.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? I'm getting old and I don't care.
Well, I mean, okay, so you like I said, you are so much deeper than what people think traditionally, probably people that do bodybuilding competitions and people that do pageants are. I mean, you come on the podcast and in your tank top and you know what I mean? You're not full of makeup. Like, I mean, I think all of this just shows how, even though you like to be in the glitz and the glam and you like to win competitions and stuff, like, you're a real person just like everyone else is.
I try to be.
And that seems to be the message I get from you with everything that you're doing, is that the average person can be a beauty queen.
That's it. I definitely never thought that I'd be doing that. Like, I would watch it. I watch Miss America, I watch Miss USA. I'm like, I always love sparkle. So I'm like, let me look at the dresses. I never thought that I'd actually be on a stage. And I think that was one of the things that was really important to me, especially after that first experience that I had. I'm like, there's no way that I should feel this crappy about myself. Like, I'm a very intelligent person. I'm going to graduate from college. I'm an athlete. Like, I've done all this work, for charities and stuff. Like, why do I feel negative about myself because of this one thing that was going on? So I had to really dig deep into that and figure out what was going on within me. That was the rest of my senior year of college. And then I moved to Vegas right after. I got an internship. So that first year that I was out here in Vegas, and Vegas is a kind of one of those places too, where, it's very superficial, like, you just got to look good in Vegas,
If you're working on the strip, for sure.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of all that too. And it's like, oh my God. There was some maybe good things about it, but in general, I mean, I had to have so much emotional cleansing after all that.
It's a weird place. It's fun, but
yeah,
definitely do something to you.
Yeah. If you get sucked into it. So okay, we talked about your definition of beauty, which is, it's beautiful. I mean, if people can really find beauty within and just rock that, I mean, we don't need a crown to walk around and be validated, right? It seems like that's what you're trying to say too. It's really seeing the beauty that God has given you inside and just walking in that, right?
Work it, girl,
Work it. So now, okay, you were doing pageantry and then you ended up getting to the bodybuilding world. Tell us about, first of all, even before that, you were doing some spokesmodel work. So what have you been doing in the spokesmodel world?
One of the one of my favorite things that I've done is with Hot Work. So it's a fairly new franchise. It's a fitness franchise with an infrared. You work out in an infrared sauna. So I was one of the first virtual instructors. So it's like perfect now because, you know, social distancing and everything, you get in this little sauna. I'm there. I'm not like right now on the screen, but I would lead workouts that were pre-recorded in this sauna. I'm still like on the wall. It's kind of cool if you go in there. There with the ropes. It's my favorite picture that I've taken ever. It's kind of cool.
I've seen that picture. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, she looks so fierce with those ropes. It's on their Instagram, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it on their Instagram too.
Yes, I like it. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things that I've done. And then Planet Beach was actually their sister company. So that's more like spa, like beauty brands. That was the first thing that I did. And I came after the pageant stuff kind of happened. So a lot of the modeling stuff that I've done, I think, happened because of, you know, the pageant experience. And the pageant experience kind of groomed me, helped me figure out how to not be a tomboy all the time. Like, okay, sometimes you can get it a little bit together and, you know, be nice and, you know, ladylike and stuff. So that's kind of cool. I've also been a dealer, like car dealer.
Really?
Yeah. The company, it closed. I think they're trying to redo it. I ended up quitting before all of that. That was after my dad thing too. So I kind of like got out of everything pretty much, but it's kind of cool. It's virtual casino. So we would play like online with people and we'd be in a studio dealing baccarat, blackjack, and roulette. And we're talking to people all over the world through Facebook. So that was like a cool thing. I've been Cleopatra at Caesars too. So some Vegas, very Vegas type of jobs that I'll tell my children and grandchildren about one day, I guess.
I love it. That sounds so much fun. So, okay, so you ended up getting into bodybuilding and fitness heavily at some point during all this. So what does fitness mean to you?
Fitness is fun. Fitness is life. Fitness is just feeling good. It's not necessarily about being superficial, like you touched on before. A lot of times you get into competitions and things. I mean, in a way it kind of is because you have to, like, you're competing for a specific thing. But, you know, again, to me, I've always just loved being active. I love working out. And so it's really just helps you figure out, learn more about the body, learn more about what you can actually do. Like, the body is an amazing thing, you know, what you put in and what you put out of the body can totally, you know, make things happen differently. So it was fun because I was getting out of the pageant world, but I still love being on stage. Like I said, I love sparkles and stuff. So I wasn't ready to retire. So the fitness competition stuff was kind of my way to kind of semi-retire, but still, you know, keep me going in that. And, you know, it's been, what year was that? That was 2014, my first Fitness America. And yeah, I'm getting ready to compete again in a month. But it's just, I've learned so much about myself and just, it's just taken me so much further with just health, life inside and out. So I just love doing it.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've also had some health kind of things going on too. I know you're not chronically ill or anything, but how is that related to your fitness?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I think I was so focused as I got really into, like I started placing really high and winning within these competitions. So I got super focused, again, the competitor, right? I'm super focused on, okay, how can I do this better? And, I need to work on this, that, and the other. I was so focused on that. I think I wasn't necessarily working on, just being more careful, I guess, about how I was eating stuff and paying attention to other things. I'm just like so worried about getting the workouts and stuff in. And nutrition isn't necessarily my thing. It never really was. So, I'm kind of learning stuff as I go. But looking back at everything, and that was, I think, about the time when I met you too, I was noticing like my stomach, like my lower stomach, having some bloating and some problems. And I just thought I just have to like work out harder. And it's taken me this long to figure out it's not about, it was not necessarily about working out any harder or anything. Like there was some stuff going on in like my digestive system, which then again, could probably relate back to the mental health and mental clarity and things like that. And just kind of feeling like crap sometimes. And again, you want to just keep on pushing and everything, but you have to think about how everything kind of relates. It's like one really big picture. There's got to be some kind of balance and stuff like that. So, yeah, we've been dealing with that a little bit, but it's getting way better right now. So I'm very thankful for that and for you introducing me to like great products and just making me realize that there's other factors at play here. And even when I take care of that, then the workout stuff is so much easier. Like I love working out, but I can get better results in shorter time, then why not,
Right. There's so much in that to be said in that. So I noticed too, when I started working out and I was actually trying to eat healthier and I'm taking my supplements, and I'm like, it's not so hard to be fit when you're just doing the right things on that side of the spectrum as well. I mean, I never was obese or anything like that, but I wasn't always the most toned. And I did have a little bit of a belly at some point in my life, but it was never like, but it's always that extra 5 to 10 pounds that could be so hard for people to overcome. And it could be something like the parasites and the mold and fungus and candida and the things that we talk about heavily on this show. And so what have you been taking to deal with that extra belly fat that was and bloating that was going on?
Oh, well, funny you ask. CellCore, right there, what's behind your head, right there, all that stuff. Like actually, I have some of it over here. I have a desk full of all kinds of stuff. I've got sparkles, glitter,
you can just start throwing it all everywhere.
Oh, look, stuff for my costume, wire, CellCore.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm loving this. I actually was on started Protocol 2 a couple of weeks ago. That's like the gut cleanse, which I'm really like, whoa, like
Phase
that was
2.
a long time ago. I wish I knew I didn't fall the face of the earth, and I could have started before, because I went away for a long time. Thank goodness we came back together here not too long ago.
Well, okay, let's pause on that note real quick. So sometimes when I talk to Brittany, this is for the audience, I feel like she gets a little sensitive, that like it feels bad that she went away and then she came back. And I call it, she went in her hiding place. So I mean, she didn't even talk to me for a couple months.
Coronavirus made it.
There you go. But let's just put it this way. I think that could be very healthy for some people sometimes. Sometimes we need to just take a break from life and put everything aside so we can hear God. It's like how Jesus went up to the mountain and he prayed, and then he went back down to the mountain and he was with people. So, I mean, we all need times where we put things aside and we just have our mental space so we can sort things through, and then we can come back and be a superstar again like you are. So I want to just say, I think that is a very honorable, great thing that you've done a few times in your life. So I know this isn't the first time, but I mean, sometimes I still feel like I need that break. I'm like, can I just go away for 3 months and then come back?
Or like 2 years.
Or like 2 years. I don't know if I need 2 years, but I think maybe like a month might be good.
Yeah, I was like, before, I started talking to you like not too long ago, like it was only like 2 years, like in this like weird place. I'm like, God, it feels so good now, like so good to be back. But it's like, if I had gone through, just kind of keep on pushing through, just kind of like living life, just, just trying to make it in the state that I was in, I think I would definitely not be here, mentally or anything, like a lot of people, I think they don't know if I'm alive or not. Like some friends, there are literally people that like, I didn't talk to anybody for like the longest time. Some of my family was like, hello, what's going on? I had to go. And yeah, mad, but I feel good now. So I think it's all worth it.
Yeah. Well, and okay, and then this ties, so since we're on the note of mental health and we're talking about digestive health, you had kind of mentioned it real briefly about how your digestion is so intertwined with your mental health. And so when, what I was wondering too is because once we started chatting a little bit again a few months ago, you got on the products, like you got on the product protocol. And then
after the first time I talked to you, I think in like a year, I'm like, give it to me. Tell me what it is. I'm going to go order it.
Right. It was like April or something, like in the heat of when everything got shut down. And then
it was right before everything got shut down. Yeah. Cause I was still.
So you started on all this when everything went crazy. And then I know when everything went crazy, you had a moment where you're just like, I don't know what is going on. And then you kind of went in your hiding place again. And so I think about it and I'm like, okay, you needed some space for yourself, right? As I'm sure a lot of people needed some space to kind of figure things out, and God gave it to a lot of them, obviously with everything being shut down. So you obviously needed some mental space and you knew it, but at the same time, you kept doing the protocol and you kept taking these products as much as you could during that time. And so I wonder, I always wonder how much of your time where I say it's your time with God. You had your time with God, and I'm wondering how much of like you coming back and feeling more alive and positive and just feeling good about life also is because you've also been getting rid of the parasites and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, let's talk about parasites. Oh my God. I remember first time you said parasites. I'm like, what? Parasites?
or what?
What are you talking about?
There's bugs in my body.
No, I don't have
This
that.
is why I'm bloated. This is why my abs can't show right now.
Right. Like it was crazy. I'm like, all these things that I thought, and I'm like, let me get more, fat burner and this and that. No, that was totally not the way to go. But I really do think, let me see. Okay. It was March. I started taking it. Then the parasites showed themselves and I'm like, what in the world is happening to me? Good. All right, I'm gonna trust you. I don't know why I trust you, but I trust you. That stuff started going away and I was starting to feel a little bit better. So it's kind of funny, and I always say it's weird because when everything went crazy in the world with the virus and stuff, everything shut down, I'm like, why do I feel a little bit better? Like, this is weird and scary. And like, I definitely had some moments, obviously I lost my job and Vegas is dead now, you have to just kind of roll with it. And we've done all kinds of different things, going through a lot of changes, but I'm thinking like, if this was going on a year ago, I don't know where I would be. I feel probably the best. I don't know why. Like, I know that a lot of people are going through bad times and having you know, really, really bad stuff happening because of this, the virus and everything. But I feel like better. I feel better than I ever have, even going through this time. And I'm able to handle the stuff that's coming at me and the changes that are going on. I've been able to handle that stuff a lot better, a lot more energy, and just things aren't messing with me, holding me down like it would have. So I'm grateful. It's probably the parasites going away, not messing with me so much that I'm able to really kind of embrace what's going on and make the most of it.
Yeah. Well, they mess with our mind.
Yeah.
I've been trying to make light of, or make people aware of the term neuroparasitology. We talked about that before, right?
Mhm.
So it's the idea of how parasites can take over your mind. It's parasite mind control. And if you think about it, it's kind of deep. You know, there's parasites that can take over our mind. That's what I said. So if you didn't get that one, I hope that you got it the second time, because if we don't get rid of those parasites, our mind can literally be out of whack. Like what Brittany was talking about. I mean, this is not just Brittany. I mean, I went through it, and you know, the more I cleanse my body, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was acting before, how I was feeling inside, and the emotions and stuff I was personally experiencing. And once in a while, if I get a little off, I know, I'm like, okay, gotta do some cleansing, or maybe it's just not done yet, you know. And so this stuff is real, and this is why we do this podcast, because we want you to know that there could be root causes that you're not addressing for even things like mental health challenges. So there's that. And not everybody is going to be diagnosed with autism. I mean, these things that are way off the spectrum, you might still be on the spectrum somewhere, and it's just about realizing that, wait, I'm not at peace. I might be doing some spiritual work, emotional work. So it's not that. There's something else. And I really believe that so many people are dealing with these issues because of the toxicity load. So the toxicity causes the body to overgrow these parasites and these other infections as a result of pleomorphism. So anyways, we can get into the whole science of it all, but basically all I'm saying is that Brittany, what she went through, what she's talking about, it's a very valid thing, and there's science to back exactly what she went through.
Mm-hmm. And I as I take this stuff and I learn more about CellCore, like I've been all into, it's fascinating now, especially that I think I've come over to this other side of things and went through my little cycle of life that I was in. So I've gotten so much into like the research and like all the education that comes along with being a part of CellCore. I'm just like, it's amazing. You know, I feel like I'm in college again, you know, going back into time. But, you know, I think about, God, I wish I knew about this stuff a few years ago, because, you know, maybe I could have been able to, you know, add some life to my dad's life or something, you know, like,
That's huge. I think about that too.
Yeah.
My dad, it was just his death anniversary 2 days ago. And you know, it's why we do this, right? So since they couldn't have it when they were here, now we get to spread the message to others, so they don't have to suffer, or their family doesn't have to grow up without a dad, or without the love of their life, or their kid, or whatever, you know, or themselves. I mean, life is short, and we can't intoxicate the earth and our body and our food and all this stuff and expect that we're going to live the life, live a full and happy life. So I really think that people are going prematurely because of all this stuff. It's not, we shouldn't be born sick. We shouldn't be dying at 38 years old like my dad did, you know. And how old was your dad?
60. He had just turned 69.
Okay. And even at that, I mean, 69 is still young. I mean, I think people can be well over 100 years old and be fine, and like literally be walking around and being okay, living life. I mean, I actually have met some 90-year-olds that are still functioning, and it's, you know, and then just think about, okay, if they're living on this earth and they're dealing with all this other stuff like we are, you know, first of all, other younger generations are getting it worse and worse because we can just pass down these toxins, which is why I am waiting to get pregnant. I'm like, let's get this stuff out first, and then I'm going to pass down healthy genes. But you know, people just aren't aware of that, and which is why we do this. So the other side of it, so people in that age bracket, they might have not been exposed to the stuff that we've been exposed our whole lives, and you know, and this stuff just kind of passes down. But I just think about even the ones that are still kind of functioning, how much even better of a life they could have had, like even longer. Like maybe they could, those type of people, maybe they could have been to 130 or who knows. I have grandparents that have lived into their 90s and 100. My Filipino side, they had a lot of children on my dad's side. So one lived to, actually I think a few lived to over 100 years old. So I really think this is possible. It's just we can't expect to do what we're doing now and have positive results. So let's spiral back into, you were going to show us what you're taking. I'm sure some people are dying to know. How are you getting those abs aside from working out really hard?
We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks if they come out. But I let's see. So the other protocol too, I got a box full of stuff over there somewhere. But what I've actually been adding to that is this Gluco Optimizer, backwards, but it's not a part of the protocol, but this is like really cool. I was like, well, let me try this. And that just helps, you know, utilize that, the glucose even better and use it in the muscles and help me build my muscles and stuff up like that. So I've been doing that for a couple of weeks. I think that's been helping a little. And then I'm kind of obsessed with this. This is my pre-workout. No more caffeine. Okay, won't lie. I might take a little pre-work or a little coffee or something beforehand, but very rarely, especially when I have this Mito, ATP, hydroxygen, and these minerals. I just put that in my water before. I'll drink some before, and then if I'm having like a really long workout, I'll just be sipping it throughout the workout. And I'm just like, I did kickboxing and a boot camp like back to back the other day. I'm just going at it. Everyone looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I got so much energy. This feels good. It hurts a little bit after, but you know, I'm up in there getting it with those. So,
well, with those, I should say this, when you put it in water, it helps the body to get more hydrated. Yeah. So the Mito ATP helps to structure the water, which I don't know if you've seen structured water, but it looks like a snowflake under the microscope. It actually makes the body absorb the water better. And so there's that. There's a ton of other things that thing is doing. It's helping the body to reproduce mitochondria, they help the body the mitochondria produce ATP, which is how we get energy. So why that you're feeling more energy while you're doing that. And then oxygen, we need oxygen, most of our body's oxygen. So when we have enough of that can help our energy. And then the minerals are, it's like an electrolyte. So instead of taking something like Gatorade, we can,
none of that stuff.
Right, yeah, artificial things. Just put your electrolytes in your water. So there's amino acids in there too. So it's not obviously going to be as much amino acids as if you're having some type of other supplement, but at the same time, they're all there for a purpose. So do you feel more hydrated during that time? I know you feel energy. What else do you feel as you're taking that stuff?
Yeah, and because it's hot. So I work out a lot at Vegas hot. So it's hot in there. So of course you're doing the workout, but it's heated. Like different classes are different temperatures. So it's a sauna, basically. So yeah, it's definitely difficult to do, but I mean, it feels good. I feel a little crazy sometimes. I'm like, well, this shouldn't feel so good in here. And, you know, I'm not dying. And of course, you're drinking lots of water, but that, like you said, it just produces more water in the body and it does all that stuff. So yeah, I'm able to stay in the room that's 100 and some degrees and kickbox and do kettlebells and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's helping your workout. Now, what about your recovery? Do you find that certain things are helping your recovery more? Are you on the inflammatory control?
I'm taking that too. Yeah. It's kind of crazy because I really don't feel sore or as sore, I should say. I still lift, like I do a pretty heavy lower body workout and a pretty heavy upper body workout, and then maybe a full body lift, and then do all these hot classes. And I'm working out 6 times a week, most weeks, and a couple hours a day. You'd think I'd be like dead, but I definitely feel way less sore, especially after those heavier days. And I think too, maybe the Gluco Optimizer has helped with that too, because I've been taking that before working out and before meals too. So I don't know if I'm like popping too many pills, but it's good stuff for you. So I've been feeling good. I haven't been feeling any no side effects. So I guess I'm on the right track.
Nice. So in terms of, I mean, all that stuff can help, can detox to a certain extent too. But in terms of like the detox and clearing infections, you're on phase 2, you said. You're still in phase 2?
Yeah, phase 2.
Okay, so what are you doing in phase 2 of the CellCore protocol?
Yeah, clearing that gut, getting more parasites. Oh my goodness, I thought I got them out, but I guess there are lots of them in there. So yeah, it's disturbing. It's very
So you still
disturbing.
keep seeing them come out?
Yes, I do.
This is your beauty queen.
Unfortunately, yes. All that.
All that, yep.
Yep, everybody's got them.
Right, yeah. So don't be deceived by the beautiful face.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you seen, in the last few years, I know you were kind of off and on at first, but have you seen some of the stuff that we've done together? Has it helped with your gut so far? Like, have you seen your abs show more? I know some people are probably curious about that.
I have definitely seen a lot of changes in that. I mean, I still have some stuff. It's weird because it's like it pops up. I get the bloat. Like sometimes I can really see them, and sometimes I get bloated. So I'm still working with like my food. I took a food sensitivity test. Also realized that I'm sensitive to whey protein, like whey and eggs.
No way.
And drinking. That's what you eat when you get ready for shows. So I had to like stop that. So I think that's something too. Like that was another thing. But of course, you get rid of the parasites and stuff like that, then that's gonna go away. So that's temporary. But I've definitely seen the difference. I like honestly, before I started, I showed you pictures. I'm like, well, what is going on? What's happening here? I look like I'm pregnant. I'm not pregnant. Not now, but before I started taking it. I should have sent you some of the pictures.
We need some before and after pictures. We can always put those on Instagram.
Oh Lord.
If you ever want to send me a before and after one, I'll post it.
Oh, give me a couple more weeks. I'll send you a really good after, but already, great change with what's going on, but it's gonna be real good here before too long. So.
Yeah. And so, okay, so you're doing all the products, right? And then you're working out. Are there any other therapies that you're doing?
Well, actually, it's right down here. I've been grounding lately, so that's my little grounding pad, and I sit at the desk and put it under my feet. So I've been learning a little bit about that. I think it's been doing a little something for me, even though I like going outside and being barefoot and doing it that way. But if I'm inside, then that's been working for me a little bit too.
Well, we have all this electromagnetic radiation, which is a whole nother topic. I probably need to do a whole new series on that one. I haven't talked too much on that because it's just like this. You want to talk about opening a can of worms? Let's talk about that.
I got the book when I ordered it. I just got this probably a week or two ago, and I got the book with it, and I was like, this stuff is crazy. Like I've seen little things, I read little things about it, but like there's a whole book. I'm like, ooh, this is very, very interesting stuff. So, yeah.
So you have done some philanthropic work. I know you have a passion for giving back. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Gosh, I've done a lot of different things. Yeah, that was one of the things I did even growing up. Like my family just likes doing stuff like that. Like they're in education and social work and things. So I've always just kind of been around just helping people in different kind of, areas. In the pageant world, that kind of opens me up to a lot of other things too, talking about like my platform and what I was talking about as Miss United States and everything. I was all about the self-esteem and the whole body image. So then I ended up spending a lot of time. I focused mostly on like young women, younger, girls and teenagers, just about, love yourself inside out, that type of a thing. So I did a lot more of that stuff, especially with the pageant titles and stuff that I've had. And but one of my favorite things is Vegas Youth Ambassadors. Is an organization that I've worked with for quite a while, and we've taken a few trips to Sri Lanka, and we spend like the summer, and we go and stay at this orphanage there, and we've gone 3 times, different periods of time. And I tell you, I went the first time and I'm like, whoa, this is amazing. And just keep on wanting to go back and just experience different cultures and just different lifestyles. And, you get so caught up in life in Vegas or, what we're doing here. And you realize, yeah, some of my problems aren't that big of a deal when you go and see how other people, live, and you see kids, especially kids, experiencing things that they shouldn't experience. So I just love doing stuff like that. And I love traveling too. So it was kind of a great thing.
Yeah. I went on a mission trip over a decade ago, probably at this point, or maybe close to a decade ago. And
we need to go somewhere.
Maybe we could do something together, Brittany. Maybe that's what my itching is. I'm like, I need to be by the beach and I need to get out of here somewhere. I don't really know what it is, but maybe that's exactly what it is. I just need a little mission trip so we can get out and I can just be out of my own bubble and get some grounding on the beach, but also be able to serve people and, experience others' lives and, come back and remember how grateful I am to just, like, I'm not gonna lie, like I get stressed too. We're living in crazy times, you guys. And so, we're all being honest today. Brittany's obviously shared her heart of all the ups and downs that she has had. And, I've gone through it too. I mean, it breaks my heart going out into the world. I actually rather not. I don't like going out and seeing deception and lies. And I'm an empath, so I feel everything. So it's a little bit difficult sometimes. When we're talking about health, we really have to think about how can we get grounded. You're grounding that. Like, how can we get grounded again? And it can sometimes look a little bit different. So what have been your biggest lessons in life since, you've gone around the world. You've won all these different titles and you're doing another one soon, and you coach people, right? We didn't really get into that too much, but we're relaunching your coaching program, right?
Bigger and better. Biggest things in life, I think one of them is defining beauty for yourself, like I said before. And that's not even about just beauty, it's just about defining anything for yourself, really, like success, happiness. We live in a world that everyone's on Instagram and do it for the gram, right? Like, are you really living like this? Like, is this, I get it. And that's part of the reason I've gotten off Instagram for the past couple of years myself too, because it's just like, I don't care. Like, just go away. But, like, what does success mean to you? What does happiness mean to you? Like, you don't have to see what everybody else is doing. And because even if you think, well, I don't care, it's kind of like there anyway. Like, subconsciously, I think things are still in the back of your mind and you're seeing stuff and feeling like you're not doing enough or the right thing. It kind of messes with you.
Well, there's a whole documentary. Have you heard of it? it's oh shoot. Everyone's been telling you, but I need to watch this. It's about that whole social programming with social media. So
Oh,
so even though that, you're not trying to do it, like it still can hit
um,
us.
I need to look at that. It's kind of
It's like
interesting.
social dilemma or something, or social something. I don't know. I have to look it up too again, but it's been in the back of my head. I've had a few really well trusted people tell me I should watch this documentary.
Huh. I'll have to look at it too.
So there's a reason. I'm just validating what you're saying. There's a
Yeah.
reason
Okay.
why. There's
Thanks.
psychology. There's all kinds of stuff. I was listening to this guy on YouTube one time, and he was talking about how television, it's it's meant to it's something about, God, what did he say? Oh, shoot, I should not bring these things up if I can't remember completely. But all this stuff is meant to program us. That is my point.
Yeah.
So
Look, you got me like you're gonna get me into another like can of worms and stuff. Now I gotta do my research. You always do this to pop up. I'm like, all right, let me go read about this, and
yeah, there's
like
some crazy people out there that I don't think are so crazy. They're just like digging into the research, and they're like, this means this, and this like something in Hollywood means like abracadabra, and like I don't know. A lot of it's this wizardry, and it's they're we're trying to be these evil people are trying to program us. So I try not to completely dwell on all that, because we have to survive in this world, and we have to use these technologies and things to spread good messages, right?
yeah.
So that on a positive note, that's what these things can be used for. I mean, if we can delete all the negativity off of our all the negative people off of our Instagrams or Facebooks, etc., and just have people on there that are promoting life and happiness, and and trying to fight for good stuff, and things like that, then we're obviously going to be programmed a little bit different than if we're following people that are not promoting these things. There's a lot of people that put stuff out there. I'm just like, I think I need to kind of do a little bit of a detox on my
Mhm.
list.
It's
So
it's an amazing thing. I think that was one of the aspects of this whole period of time for me that I think it was really good, because I even myself I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do me, and this is what I who I am and everything, and in my mind I don't think I'm easily persuaded or anything, but I do think you scrolling through and seeing stuff, you like sometimes you still question yourself, no matter how well you have it or how put together you are. It's still kind of still a thing like that kind of can pop up and mess with you a little bit.
yeah.
And
Well, and it's easy to like, there's obviously some people on social media that might be more, like a drama queen, or like post a bunch of stuff that's just like
no,
negative. But I think a lot of us, we want to just post all the positive stuff,
mhm.
and so we might see a lot of stuff on that looks good on the outside, but you don't know really what's going on in the inside. I mean, that seems like the whole theme of this conversation that we're having. It's like, just because we see pretty on the outside and fit does not mean that people, that person is going through, their own challenges in life. And just because we see that, just because they have a house and they have this or whatever they're putting out there, does not mean that they don't have their own struggles. And
Right.
so to not that we want them to, but to discredit that can make us feel like we can never live up to that. I mean, we can never be perfect. So I think at the end of the day, we have to just be okay with being imperfect.
Yeah, it is
That
what
is
it
why
is.
we have grace.
Yeah. I mean, even the biggest celebrity or whoever you think is like the coolest person in the world has something going on. You may not see it. They may not necessarily talk about it, but it's there. So you might as well just realize we all have things, and it's okay. And it's what we do with those things and those situations. You have choices to make the most of them. You can go right or left in any type of
Yeah.
situation. And so, I think things are here to make you better, make you stronger. Like, how could you know, become strong if you don't have any struggle? Like, I mean, it sounds nice, right?
Well, it's
Like,
like you're working out. you know?
Exactly. Like, you don't just have muscle. You have to do something about it, you know? I mean, well, there's some people, I guess, really super, you know, genetically, you know,
A
blessed
little bit more
or
genetically gifted or less parasitic.
that.
Those eat your muscles.
Oh my gosh, those parasites. I'll tell you.
It's not the only thing, you guys. I know we talk a lot about it, but it's a huge problem that's not being talked about. So make sure you deal with all of them, the radiation, the fungus, the this, the that, whatever. But yeah, that's a huge one that's not being talked about enough. So Brittany, tell us about where people can find you, and you know, you're revamping your program. Is there a date for a relaunch? I mean, how can people find you? How can they work with you if they want to? You're now a CellCore practitioner, which gets me so excited because I know how much this really changes people's lives.
Yeah, I guess people have to find me now. I'm like, you still can't find me because I'm just still like in my own world over here. But on Instagram, like you said, be fabulous, be period fab with a YOU. Put the U in fabulous from the inside out. Yeah, I haven't been on there forever, but I guess I need to probably start doing that. And I'm hoping to get everything kind of up and launched again around Fitness America time. Super focused on just getting ready for that. But you know, this whole journey that I've been on, this whole process, the products and everything, you know, that's really important for people to actually see the whole thing, not just the trophy at the end, because I am going to have trophies, big one.
The competitive side. This is why we get along, Brittany. There's so many parts to this story here, but I can be a little competitive myself. I'll just stay competitive in my lane and you stay competitive in your lane. Or we actually have this overlap now, so that works well together too.
Exactly.
So we win together.
Yeah.
But I think I know it's fun to be competitive, but again, the moral of the story is, right, that everybody has beauty on the inside, and really just to honor that and walk into that authority. And you know, Brittany has certain things that are Brittany and they're amazing, you know, but then there's the next person where it's like, we need to, you know, they need to honor themselves too. And I think the more that we honor ourselves, the more that it seems that other people will probably naturally recognize that as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're just walking in your path, you know, do the things that you know that you're supposed to be doing. Like we're all given, you know, like I said, embrace all of your gifts, right? So do that thing that you're supposed to be doing, you know? And when you're doing that, you're going to people are going to be brought into your life. Like my friend here, Jacqueline, just came out of poof, you know, but because I was going down this path that I was supposed to be in, like things happen for you. I'm not superwoman or anything. Like I am blessed over and over and over again. And it's because you do what you're supposed to do. You work hard into things you're supposed to do. And then like things happen. I don't make it all happen. Trust me. Like I just know I'm just grateful for, you know, what it is that I have. I work with what I have, and then you just keep on going, and then poof, something happens. Okay.
Serendipitous events. That's what we talk about all the time here.
All
Love it.
the time. I'd love to take credit for everything. I mean, I do work hard and whatever, but you know, it's those little things that you pop up in the middle of the night, those ideas, that voice that came from nowhere, you know, all those things that happen. You pay attention to those things. That's like part of your step. You keep on doing it, then you end up where you need to be. Doesn't mean they're not going to be
attention part
that happen in the middle of it, but it's part of the test and it's part of the journey, and you have to have the good and the bad. Unfortunately, we have to go through that stuff, but you know, it's what makes us and prepared, you know, for the beautiful things that are there.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Brittany, for coming on the show, and thank you for, you know, being open to doing this. I know that we tried to do this a few times and it just wasn't the right time, but had it been earlier, maybe we wouldn't have had this beautiful conversation the way that it was meant to be, right? So I know that someone that is out there right now that needed to hear that and needed to just remember that they're a beauty queen as well, and in their own way, and just to look for that. So again, Brittany can be found on Instagram at b.fabulous. So so it's FABUYOU. So BU. I got that. And she'll be in the upcoming Fitness America competition. So if you're in Las Vegas, when is the date? If people want to come
check
watch.
it out. It is I should know this, November 20th. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving. So we do all this work, and then the next week I could just eat a bunch and pig out and not worry about it.
Oh, that's why they did that. I was like, that's a little weird timing, but okay. Okay, so is it so it's Friday, Saturday?
It's actually, it's just Saturday. Normally it's like that whole weekend, but you know,
21st.
It's gonna be super weird this year. I don't know. It's gonna be, because it's Fitness America, but it's international. Like a lot of international competitors normally come. It's as big as Universe, and I don't know what's gonna happen this year. I'm gonna be there, so I don't know. And
so this is almost like Fitness Universe.
My costumes I'm working on, so
I can't wait to see all the feathers that you're talking about.
feathers and sparkles.
Right. Totally Vegas outfit. That's I love it. Feathers and sparkles. So all right, well, Fitness America on the 21st. I'm sure that people can find that online. But anyways, again, thank you for sharing all your heart today, and in the future just keep following Brittany, and she'll tell you when she's ready to help, to coach you guys as well, and roll out this program with you too.
Yeah, I'm almost ready. I'll be ready soon.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will go ahead and return next week. Have a blessed night. I'm Dr. Jacqueline. I'm here so you know. I hope you got a lot of nuggets from that episode. There's just so much to learn as a woman, and helping balance our body and be able to give life to a newborn and raise these healthy children. And then, of course, we don't want to get wrinkles when we grow old. And a lot of us are losing our mind, and we're losing our joints. I mean, there's so much. And then on top of that, then there's weight loss. Have you ever thought about, man, it'd be so much easier to be able to lose weight if I did not crave that cake every day, or some other bad thing like cookies, etc.? Well, we have Gluco Optimizer. So along with your CellCore protocol, you can add the Gluco Optimizer in to help balance your blood sugar, help fight those cravings. And you'll see here, there's a lot of other things it does. It protects against heart disease. It helps increase muscle mass. Now, as a woman, you might think, I don't want to have big muscles, but I'm one that doesn't have big muscles, and I work out all the time and lift a lot of weight. Lean muscle keeps you thin. So with that and the combination of something like Gluco Optimizer, weight loss is going to be a lot easier nowadays, you guys. All right, ladies, I hope you enjoyed that show again. Go ahead and check out Gluco Optimizer so you can optimize your weight loss program.
Thank you for listening to the Wellness Trinity podcast. Be sure to subscribe for more wellness tips to help you achieve optimal health. Don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best content. See you on the next episode.